The Irish priest Flor McCarthy tells the story of a priest who installed a stained glass window in his church. And the window depicted the traditional scene of Calvary. Christ on the cross in the middle with the Blessed Mother at the foot of the cross on one side and the beloved disciple John on the other. The sky was dark and threatening. The earth steeped in darkness. And it was only in the distant background that there was a hint of dawn coming up over the hills. One day the priest was passing through the church, and there was a man standing in front of that window, deep in thought. "What do you think?" the priest asked. "Oh, it's far too dark for my liking," muttered the man, shaking his head. The priest agreed to a point. He said, "It is very dark, because that's what Calvary was like. It was a dark place, made all the darker by the cruelty inflicted there, the mockery and the scorn poured upon Jesus as he hung dying upon the cross." "Never thought of it like that," the man said. The priest continued, "But getting back to the window, we're looking at it at the wrong time of day." "What do you mean?" the man asked. "Well," the priest said, "the window faces the rising sun. And as the sun comes up, it shines through the window. And if you see that, you will look at it in a completely different light." The following morning, the man put the priest's word to the test. He arrived at the church very early in the morning, just before dawn. And as the sun rose, the window was transformed. The body of Jesus began to glow, and the halos around the heads of Mary and John did likewise. And every bit of brightness in that window was magnified to such an extent that the darkness was eclipsed. Jesus died in darkness. And to his disciples, his death seemed to be the defeat of goodness, the victory of evil. To those closest to him, like Mary of Magdala and the other Mary who appear in our gospel reading today, it seemed like grief would have the final word. And that's what it would have been like if not for that first Easter morn. Because of the resurrection, darkness did not have the last word. God vindicated the faithful love of Jesus by raising him from the dead. So those who came to the tomb, bathed in the darkness of grief, left the tomb bathed in light. The light of hope. The light of joy. This morning, we have heard the same words that those women heard on that first Easter morn. He is not here. He is risen. May we be bathed in the same light of hope that washed over those women on that first Easter morning. And if we find ourselves in darkness, if we wonder whether darkness will have the final word, let us remember in our hearts those words. He is risen. And let those words stir up in us the hope that life, that love, that God will always have the final